So the story starts off with our main character, Emmett, who has these like glowy green eyes and this weird shaped glowing arm, and he seems to be like half alien at first, but as the story goes on you'll learn why he is Mr. Glowy. These monsters, outcasts, try to grab resources from the Rifters, which are those big glowing blue things. You can't miss them. Our main hero's mission is to basically stop these things before they take over the galaxy. I mean, that sounds pretty original, right? Not really. The story follows the same routine you've seen 100 times. Guy must save the world and only he can because he has special powers and he's a rogue agent. Story wouldn't be a problem though if there was some sort of connection with these characters, but honestly no one gives a shit about any of these characters in the game, or at least I would hope so if you actually care about character development.
Nah, nothing handy. But let me do some hunting around.
Hey, Rift Hugger.
Yeah?
What you did here? Not bad. You saved our hides. We owe you.
The brothers' connection should have brought some emotional weight to the story. Instead, I'm just kind of sitting there waiting till the cutscene is done with to get past it and into the gameplay. Even so, the stylish way the cutscenes are actually done are pretty amazing. They look almost comic cel-shaded like, and it's neat to see that the stages in the comic and how they look change into the actual levels. The cutscenes actually remind me a lot of Infamous in a lot of ways. I just wish the story itself was as captivating, but sadly it comes off as a side story while it's a main story, if that makes sense.
Years ago to the Outcast. I have heard that it's still standing, but I don't got an inkling if it'll fire up for you.
Being that it's the last...
Like I said, the comic book cel-shaded type graphics are pretty fucking sick. I love the slick style of it, and the designs of the mechs and the levels are great to view and explore. The aliens, the outlaws, are generic looking enemies. They basically look like glowing evil monsters. Also not in love with the design of some of the characters on the human side. But even so, none of that made me actually hate the graphics or degrade it in any way. All in all, the graphics are top notch and the levels are fucking awesome just to go around and explore in. Warhawk was a fun multiplayer game, so when Starhawk was announced, I was eager to see what, product we would get. Right off the bat, Starhawk tries to combine two major genres in one, a strategy tower defense genre with a third-person shooting genre. The result? A pretty freaking awesome game. The majority of single-player levels consist of you defending something by building structures to protect it. On top of that, you use an arsenal of weapons to blast away the outlaws.
The switch is still a level up. The schematics show a ladder. See if you can find it.
The building structure is simple enough. Click triangle and set up a certain structure to help defend. From building a bunker to building a hawk station and taking little mechs for a ride, you can build turrets to anti-air turrets, watchtowers, and supply towers. Really, the game gives you enough structures to mess around and try different ideas in different situations, and the game will present you with plenty of different situations. The Hawks, which are the mechs, look badass. Not only do you fly these badass robots, but you also get to land and do some massive damage with this stomping attack. It's like, oh, you down there? Hey, what's up? Boom! Now you're dead. Ah. If you don't want to do some footwork, you get it? Footwork? Because you're whatever. You can shoot them to death with your machine guns. Duh. Now, in the air combat, it is pretty awesome to look at, but it's a little too fast for me. I'll be honest, I've never been good at a flying game, so it probably doesn't help much in this situation, but I always find the controls in this game a little difficult to actually maneuver around in. They drive me insane in they did drive me insane in Warhawk, and with that 6-axis, I don't know what they were thinking or what drugs they were on, but yeah, that game drove me crazy with the 6-axis controllers. Now, There are regular controls in this game that are far better than that, but it's just not perfect, and it's still hard to turn at times. It's still hard to keep up with enemies, and you know, it just kind of gives you a little what the fuck, or I can't keep up, but maybe that's just me. I love the fact that just building structure so effortlessly at the same time of being at a full-on war with explosions going off and bullets flying around, things blowing up, it's just something to admire, especially with huge stages like this game has. Sure, I wish we had more interesting guns, but overall my complaints are just not major. The game is very solid for what it's going for, and that's something you gotta give Lightbox, the developers, credit for. I enjoy most of my time with this game. Sadly, you might have noticed I couldn't show or review any part of the online. I only played a beta twice, so I don't know if my review is fair on the online portion in the retail version, but you can blame Sony on that one. Without a trial of some sort, I wasn't able to review the online due to having to rent the game. So the online portion, while fun in the beta, is really a mystery to me in the final retail game. However, if it's anything like the single player, which I assume it is in terms of basic fundamentals, it's a ton of fun, and if you like these two genres combining, I can't see you hating it. Now, you have to be at least a decent player at third-person shooters on top of being decent at tower defense / strategy games. You have to think quick, build the right structures, take to the air, and blast away at these baddies all at the same time. I don't think Starhawk is revolutionary, especially with a weak story and some iffy controls at times, but I will admit that I think it's a great game in the sense that it combines two genres really well and remains to be a lot of fun. It's not easy to achieve, my friends. You will have to use your mind a little bit more than you're used to in most shooters, but once you do and get a hand on it, I'm sure you'll enjoy Starhawk as much as I did. I give it an 8 out of 10 and hope to see more from Lightbox.